when I was overhearing the interaction and realizing that some of the stories I had heard before coming here and officially being on board of, I feel like I have to hand deliver, this is my livelihood, I feel like I have to hand deliver this application, or I don't have the ability to do this online, and gosh, I wish you guys took online payment, because we didn't have online payments. So licensees were bringing checks and money orders. Seeing that play out before me in the lobby, it was a realization that this is not the way to do business in the 21st century, and we definitely needed to do better, not only for our workforce, but for the customers that we serve. So I can tell you very early on, it was easy to see that we definitely had a tech deficit that needed to be addressed. And so again, that's just one more reason why today is so exciting. So this is just one story. It doesn't account for the 4,000 plus organizations that rely on the DABS for necessary licensing so they can operate legally. 4,363 to be exact. That's at least of the last count. That's how many businesses, event organizers, and producers that have been stuck dealing with this antiquated system will now have some relief. I am so proud to say that we will no longer be drowning in paper. These boxes here to my left represent just a small fraction of the stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of paper applications, required documents, and payment records that licensees needed to bring here, and then our staff had to keep, maintain, and deal with. This is wasteful and it's inefficient, again, both for DABS and our operations, but also for the businesses that we work with. In keeping with Governor Cox's goal for streamlining and modernizing government and his goal for enhanced focus on customer service, we are swapping out the old way of doing things for a system that is convenient, accessible, transparent, and provides for reliable record keeping. Here's what this means for thousands of entities licensed or permitted with the DABS. Every entity will have their own online portal to manage all records and correspondence with the department. The first step will be to create an account in the system. Licensees, you will be able to create an account in the system. You'll be able to view your existing records with the department and connect those records to your new account. All of your records will be maintained within the account in the system. This is where you will submit documents, payments, and correspond with staff using the message feature. The system launch comes just before 1,200 restaurants are required to renew licensing within the state. Their renewal deadline is September 30th. Prior to the new system, each of the businesses had to jump through difficult hoops to fulfill their renewal obligation. Those hoops might include to attempt a confusing and outdated online renewal process, gather up applications, gather up documents, then potentially to drive all that paperwork to the office, mail all of that paperwork to the office, fax all that paperwork to the office, so that they could get it to their compliance specialist. And it might even entail them getting us paper payments, something like I mentioned, a check or a money order. But this renewal cycle, because we're going to do things differently, 1,200 restaurant owners or managers will access the new online system to enter that required information. If they don't have all the right information at their fingertips, they can save where they left off and return to complete the process later. If they have a question, they can message a compliance specialist right there in the system. Then, when it's time to make their renewal payment, they'll do it right there too. So there are a number of resources available to help folks get started and to navigate this new system. First, all license and permit holders can go to our website at abs.utah.gov/licensee-system, where you will find the link to create your account. There, you'll also find tutorials and FAQs. We are hosting 2 virtual demonstrations on August 22nd at 9 a.m. and August 30th at 2 p.m. Registration for those demonstrations is also found on our website. Finally, our staff, amazing staff, is here to help support our customers, our licensees. If anyone wants more hands-on help getting started, you can come here to our office where we have computers set up to show you the system and to get you signed up. Compliance specialists are also available over the phone and on email. There's another change that license and permit holders will see because of the new system. For transparency and consistency improvements, compliance specialists will now use tablets when visiting businesses and venues for compliance checks or audits. This system is fairly standard for health safety inspections, and now we're going to implement it here. While on their compliance checks, our specialists will input the information in real time, and that information will populate the individual account in the online licensing and permitting system. If later on a different staff member works with a business owner, they will have that same consistent information to reference for seamless coordination and support. So basically, we're going from this, which is like all of these giant boxes of paper and boxes, to going to this, which is digital. As you can imagine, a lot of work went into this to get this system on board. First, nothing could happen without the support of the governor and the state legislature. Funding for this project was included in Governor Cox's budget proposal, and then that funding was approved and allocated by the state legislature. I want to thank our state leaders for understanding the importance of supporting Utah business owners in this way, and I'm pleased to report that this project has been completed on time and under budget. State legislators are here supporting the launch. We have Representative Karen Peterson with us today. Thank you for your support for being here, Representative Peterson. One of the best parts of my job is that it's giving me the opportunity to get to know so many Utahns in the hospitality, food, and beverage and retail industry. This is a passionate group who work hard running their businesses and managing their employees. Many are also great collaborators and are eager to partner with us to help understand their experiences and how we at DABS can better support them. Much of our collaboration is made possible by leaders of Utah's Restaurant Association. Melva Sine, director of the Utah Restaurant Association, couldn't make it today, but I'd like to just recognize her contributions and efforts. Ginger Wicks, director of the Park City Area Restaurant Association, and then Michelle Corigliano, director of the Salt Lake Area Restaurant Association, and we'll hear a little bit more from her in a second. Our staff benefits from the feedback of each of these association representatives and their members. They joined us at the table to preview the new system and to provide invaluable insights. So thank you, because I think that really helped improve the system. I also want to thank the Alcohol Beverage Services Commissioners for your support of this project and our department's Service First mission. I know we've got former chair and still current commissioner, Tom Jacobson, with us today, and I was looking to see if we had any of our other commissioners with us today. Commissioner Jacobson, thank you for your support. We really appreciate it. I'll also recognize intergovernmental partners here today who helped to make this new system possible. We've got Alan Fuller, who's the director of Utah's Department of Technology Services, DTS. We've got Sarah Priest with the Governor's Office of Planning and Budget, as well as Joe and as well as Jeff here with us from GOPB as well. Thank you for coming. Erica Evans, the Director of Compliance and Licensing, leads this team. Jeremy Summerlath is the Assistant Director of Compliance and Licensing and has been the project manager and champion for this project. Partnering with Jeremy, managing on this project, is Janet Long, who's our business analyst with the department. Jeremy and Janet have put countless hours to see that this project would be a success. They were also key liaisons with the vendor that developed the program we're using. That vendor is called OpenGov. OpenGov has been an amazing partner all along the way of this journey, and we're so excited to recognize and to have them as a part of this. They've been great. Here today are the DABS compliance specialists. So this is this whole team here. These are folks on the front lines working with every single entity licensed or permitted to sell alcohol in the state of Utah. Like I just mentioned at the top of this, over 4,000 entities. Over the last year, they've been learning how the new system works so that they could support its users. They also scanned over 4,000 paper files to ensure that everything is digitized. And that's a big, big lift and potentially involved a couple of paper cuts. So thank you. We have our internal IT staff led by Tim Cornea. Thank you, Tim, and to your team for all of your work on this project as well. Now I want to turn over the time to the speakers joining us today. We've got Michelle Corigliano, who leads the Salt Lake Area Restaurant Association. Michelle, thank you for your partnership with this project and with so many other aspects of what we do here at the DABS, not just on this, but on all the other things that we want and need your feedback on. Then we'll hear from Cade Campbell, the general manager of the Spotted Dog Cafe in Springdale, just outside of Zion National Park. Cade knows the struggle of having to make the trek up here to complete applications and licensing requirements, and I look forward to hearing from you, Cade, about the real impacts this new system will have on your business. Thank you for being here. So I'll now turn the time over to Michelle and then to Cade. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I would like to start off first by thanking Governor Cox for recommending this grant for the DABS. It's a big deal, and we'd like to thank the legislature for approving this grant. It is a huge deal. The DABS has been instrumental in saving hours of time for our restaurant and bar owners. I have had anecdotal stories of owners trotting up here multiple times with reams of paper to turn in their applications. They have to come back if something's missing. Now there's a system where everything is in one place. You know, a lot of times government agencies enact systems like this because it's convenient for them. We have not seen that as the priority for the DABS. The DABS has worked in partnership with our members to make sure that this system is efficient, is worthwhile, is time-saving. And you know, when owners who are hands-on are saving hours of their time, that goes to running their business, to making sure that they're running an efficient, well-run, responsible business that's not serving minors, not over-serving, and training their employees to be good advocates for the license that they hold. The DABS promised a system. They came through sooner than we ever expected. Again, you know, we're used to agencies not really coming through really quickly. We thought maybe years from now there'd be a online system, and sure enough, this beautiful system is up and running, and it's incredible. So we thank Tiffany, Jeremy, the entire staff. I know for sure that when my owners are calling the DABS, they're getting incredible staff members that are helping. They want to help, and we're just so grateful for the new DABS service emphasized, and it is a big change in this department. So thanks to all of you. Thank you. And thanks, Tiffany, it's huge. And again, thanks to Governor Cox for creating this environment. It is different, so thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Kate.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Cade Campbell, as Director Clausen has mentioned. I'm currently the GM of a 4-star hotel property in Zion Canyon called Flanagan's Resort and Spa. The property has a working relationship with the state of Utah that has a long history going back to the early 1980s. Several types of licenses and permits have been issued over the years, and the inn even hosted a state liquor store at one time called Zion General Store. Our company founder was known as Liquor Larry for many years because of this. The resort's restaurant, Spotted Dog, opened its doors in 1984 and is a fine dining establishment that has been recognized by Wine Spectator each year since 2009 as having an exceptional and diverse wine list. We serve a multinational clientele in our host town of Springdale, which sees nearly 5 million visitors annually. This customer base from around the globe has a higher demand for upper level products that are difficult for most to obtain. The founder launched our extensive wine and liquor program back in the mid-1980s and ran that package store in order to procure the best access to state products for the restaurant. Since then, we have had a front row seat to the development of the DABS online programs. Our menu now hosts 300 unique labels of wine across our by the bottle and by the glass programs. Through the DABS special order program, we have bottlings available nowhere else in the state. Rare vintage verticals of high-end wines and a diverse collection of demi bottles that has allowed us to create the best wine list outside of the Wasatch Front. I've been engaged on a manager level with the DABS since the early 2000s, and as many of you know, there have been some pretty significant changes in the last couple of decades in how the department operates and what is allowed to occur with alcoholic beverages. I have historically struggled to accomplish what I had set out to do, primarily due to the limited technology and the lengthy steps needed to satisfy the requirements. These steps sometimes involved relying on the USPS or other courier services to carry the actual documents and money order payments to the office up here in Salt Lake City. At one point, driving the actual applications and payments from southern Utah to Salt Lake City was a practice used to ensure the deadlines were met. I have heard of businesses being devastated by losing a permit from a simple clerical error or a lost package. And by driving that 4-hour trip, it eliminated one possible way to lose a license. My, how the times have changed. Recently, I've been involved with the single event permit process in order to be able to serve alcohol at our free outdoor music concerts at Flanagan's Resort. We offer that to the public every Saturday through the season, and adding this bar to that event has definitely added to our offerings. It's the second season we've been putting these shows on, and it has been getting easier to apply and pay for the 24 72-hour permits that you're allowed each year. In the past, you had to be certain to have all of your documents ready to submit before you even sat down to apply. If you got interrupted or had to go find a missing document, the information would be lost and you'd have to start over again. This was hours and hours of work sometimes that would have to be done multiple times. With the new online licensing and permitting system, that's no longer the case. You have a dashboard where you can view all of the license and the permit information with ease, and then navigate through many options such as payments and inspections. You can now pay online and see the real-time progress of the application moving through that approval process. The online payment portal is a huge time saver as it eliminates the need to mail in or phone your payment with a lengthy and complicated process. The staff at DABS that I have personally dealt with this season have all been stellar. If I may call out just two examples, I know that there have been many, but the first is Jeremy Summerlath. He called me on his mobile phone from the airplane heading to London on holiday. We were in the middle of some single event permits, and he noticed that he noticed that there was a deadline that I was about to miss. So he made the call to my cell phone from his cell phone while he was on the airplane. Remarkable. He alerted me to that issue, and I was able to send the missing information and put on our scheduled events without a problem. He continued to work on the back end while on holiday to make sure the permit was processed correctly. The second is Christy Talent. She assisted me via instant messenger that's now available on that online portal to get a form changed in order to approve a permit that I had submitted it. I sent the corrected form with only 3 minutes to closing time. The permit was approved. Remarkable service from beginning to end. And in closing, I definitely want to thank Director Clayson for inviting me to share my experiences and for her and her team's diligent efforts to serve. The name change last year from the Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control to the Department of Alcoholic Beverage Services was more than just a show of effort to change. I have witnessed that the new DABS is truly a service-first department, and I look forward to what she and the department accomplishes in the future. thank you again for inviting me.
So this concludes the remark portion of the program. I would encourage any of you, if you have additional questions or comments for any of the speakers, for myself, we've got a legislator here, or any of you want to visit with our compliance specialist, please do so. We're very excited about today and all of the potential that this is going to provide for the customers that we serve, which are Utah's hospitality and retail businesses. So thank you so much for being here. And it's hard to make eye contact with you all while I'm talking. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Those of you who are veterans on this staff and have been here and have so much institutional knowledge and gifts to share, and those of you that are newer, I really do appreciate all